Welcome to Talking Down the Highway, a Beach Boys podcast presented by Strange Currencies Music. I'm Matt.
I'm Glenn.
I'm Tim. Hi.
Well, hello, Timothy.
Hi.
Hello.
Well, hello, Matthew.
Hello.
Hello.
Are we talking about wintertime today? Because it's cold.
It is cold.
And
No,
this,
not anymore.
Why are we listening to the fucking Beach Boys?
Right. That's
When we
I
had
was
a
gonna
week
say.
off of work because of snow.
And we've been
ice, really.
out because of snow, and
right.
we've been listening to the Beach Boys,
Yeah,
and not even
Really kind of fucking with me here.
even in like a specifically springy album too. It feels like it's taunting. I don't know. We barely survived.
I've been going to work this whole time.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Loser.
How do you get out? Like, do you
I live right on the edge. It's like
got those like cleat things on that
on
you
my
put
shoes.
on your shoes?
The cleat things on my shoes so I
I'd
can
be
get down
dead.
the steps.
I'd be broken hips
And then I
immediately on the floor.
got the all-wheel drive, which you do too.
Okay, yeah, I do now.
And like I'm close enough to the freeway that if it's
Yeah.
icy,
It's just the side
just like,
streets right now. Yeah.
The one time it was really icy, I was trying to get out of my street. I'm also just like literally one house length away from the main street.
Right.
I was kind of sliding around a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. I just take it slow, just kind of
right.
tap that gas a little bit.
We're up in the Pacific
fine.
Northwest, so we don't get snow too often, but when we do, everybody freaks out.
And there was a bunch of wind and stuff.
I don't even know. Like, I feel weird. Are the Beach Boys taunting me? Because I was listening to this week, and it was
No.
just, am I more miserable now that it's cold and I'm all creaky?
This
and
album, this music should be making you feel better.
yeah, that's true. I guess.
And imagine you're on a beach.
Well, it's been a weird couple weeks.
has
I was
been.
laid out for a week with COVID.
Oh, dear.
right.
And then you guys lost power, didn't
We
you?
lost power, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How long?
A day-ish,
Okay.
a little day and a half maybe.
Ugh.
Felt like a long time.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I've
couldn't listen to
discovered.
any Beach Boys. It was,
I've discovered at Matthew's house, all you have to do, the special room is the bathroom upstairs. It's nice and cozy in there.
Oh, yeah?
Like the heater's like on full blast in there. I might just hang out in there, listen to some records in Matt's
That's
bathroom.
where you live now.
Yeah, it'd be in my room. I'd be all cozy and
I never lost power somehow. And just within blocks of me, there were trees down everywhere and power outages, so I lucked out.
well, we've finally gotten back together. Tim and I have braved the icy roads. We've made it to Matt's.
It's 43
studio.
degrees now. It's all
Yeah,
slush
okay.
and bear
Yeah.
pavement. We're good.
But we're here,
freaking tropical now.
Yeah, I know. It's hot out.
reunited, ready to talk
Tim's
music.
over there in shorts. He is wearing pants.
He
but
is
they're
wearing
short
pants.
pants.
Very short pants.
No, it's all right. Things are getting back to, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just weird shit, man.
Do we have-
You know what? I'm going to make the show topical. I just got a text from Strange Currencies contributor Remy.
Oh, okay.
That was a meme, a Lionel Hutz meme.
Lionel Hutz.
Lionel Hutz. Come on, Glenn.
Okay. Nope, sorry.
Anyway, apparently, Rip Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
He just dropped out. So
Ooh, DeSantis is
What
out.
is the meme like? Say hello to Miguel Sanchez?
no. So you know how he was like, no, money down.
Oh, right,
Of course,
right.
So apparently, I guess Ron DeSantis's slogan was "Never back down," and so it's him, Lionel Hutz
Okay.
adding a comma, "Never back down."
Right.
No. So,
Run for president? Never.
So now, yes, one of the two major American political parties is one step closer to consolidating all of its support behind an election-denying fascist. So that's a thing. So
Wasn't there that?
not that any of us affiliated with the Strange Currencies Network or Talking on the Highway were throwing our support behind Ron DeSantis by any means. But anyway, so yeah.
Maybe he'll take those lifts out of his shoes now, finally.
Maybe, yeah. He needs to wear glasses like Rick Perry and rebrand himself as Smart Ron DeSantis for 2028. That's
right.
Googling Lionel Hutz works on. Okay. I need to watch some more Simpsons.
You do.
Valid. Have
Ooh,
you been
I
going
got,
to Simpsons trivia?
I didn't make it last time because
no.
I had COVID. So, the team won without me, though. So congrats to Mark and whoever else was there that week.
Nice.
Because I know Remy wasn't there. But
I picked up season 7, the set, DVD set with the Marge head.
Yeah.
I had the season 6 with the Homer head.
Homer head, yeah.
So I got 1 through 7.
The head-shaped ones were apparently very controversial.
Well,
They ruin the continuity
exactly
on your shelf.
and they're ugly.
Yeah, they're poorly made too.
Yeah, but I like it's like a little novelty. I don't know.
I think next we might move into the realm of a Simpsons podcast.
Yes.
I'm sure there's none of those to compete with.
Simping down the highway.
Yeah.
Simping down the
No.
Yeah. One other note. We had been asking for comments. We finally got a comment
Hey.
that wasn't from Tim's dad.
Hey,
It was
We've gotten a couple of those.
It was a little bit of a. Well, it was more than a little bit. It was an attempt to really burn us.
it was contentious. That's
Yeah,
right.
it was.
We have a contentious comment
We
on
did.
on
We did.
Talking Beach Boys.
I need to get the guy's name. Hold on. It was.
Are we doxing them? Is that?
No, I mean, hey, you comment, we're gonna say something, right?
All right,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
sort of the
we're
way it
commenting.
works. It's all out there in public. This was
So on the YouTube?
Seth Rogaine,
Yeah. Seth Rogaine.
who I believe it was Glenn speculated
Yeah.
might actually be Mike Love, given the
Yeah.
Rogaine
Yep.
thing.
Yeah,
and
it's
you know what,
his burner
Mike,
account.
if Rogaine hasn't worked at this point for you, you just
Right.
need to give up.
Ouch.
But he responded in reply to our Smile episode, oof. Wikipedian down the highway.
Yeah.
Well, I've never denied.
Yeah. No, sounds about right.
Tim is an avowed
Yes,
lover.
and-
I have said repeatedly
He
that
will never go beyond Wikipedia.
my knowledge is Wikipedic,
That-
not
that is it,
encyclopedic.
Right.
I was just thinking of the weirdness of all the episodes to
Right.
say that about because we're over and over again. We made many references to the Beautiful Dreamer documentary in that
Yeah.
one. Glenn makes a reference to having read Mike Love's autobiography.
Yep. That's about the extent of my
I believe I
research.
referenced the extensive liner notes in the Smile Sessions box set that I had pulled a couple of things out of that one. I mean, I had read the 33 and a third book on Smile before we did it, so it's like, okay, cool. You really burned us there, Rogaine. But anyway,
Was that Smiley Smile or Smile that he was?
I think it was the Smile one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that one may have sucked in non-regular listeners because even
Yeah.
just the Instagram post has more likes than most of the posts.
And
do.
to be fair, I mean, most of the other, there aren't any other Beach Boys podcasts out there. We're the only one.
That's right.
We are.
So, but there are a lot of hardcore fans out there, and
Hey guys, I really want you to dig into what thickness of pick was Billy Strange
Right.
using
Right.
when he played the 12-string guitar
We're not that-
on Sloop John B. Was he using a nylon pick? Was he using
right. And again, just to
42
reiterate,
millimeter hard plastic? You guys, that's what you need to be talking about
we
here.
we
Come on.
reiterated that our approach here is we're not looking at all the minutia. We're not necessarily gonna be apologetically praising everything that the Beach Boys do. We're talking about kind of the weirdness of the story. We're talking pop culture, how this unfolds, and
Well, and also, so we give a little context, then we react to the individual songs. And what I think is happening with this podcast is it's, at least for me, it's making me listen to everything a lot more carefully and organize my
true.
thoughts.
Yeah.
And, some albums that I didn't like much before, I'm turning out to like a lot because I have
Sure.
a deeper appreciation for them as we go.
well, that's kind of the
And
point of this.
yeah, and that's
isn't it? Right?
yeah, people can listen and maybe come up with or go away with the same kind of appreciations at the end of each episode. So.
Yeah, and if you want a really hardcore nerdy thing, then start your own podcast.
Yes. Yep.
Because as we have been told repeatedly, there are no other Beach Boys podcasts.
Right.
So apparently, there's a niche to be filled there.
Right.
Anyway, all right. Well, hey, let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
And we'll come back and talk about the thing we're talking about this week.
Okay.
All right. All right, we're back on Wikipedian Down the Highway, a Beach Boys fraudcast.
Oh, hey,
nice.
I just came up with that.
Wow,
good. I like it.
That was good.
Yeah, hey, that would have actually been clever, Seth Rogaine. Come on, a little more effort into it. All right. What are we talking about this week?
I don't know.
Wild Honey.
Oh,
Wild
Honey.
Yeah, fuck yeah. The Beach Boys go Blue Eyed Soul.
Yes.
And not a moment too soon.
Not a moment too soon. We're how many albums into 1967 are we?
6 or so.
17? This is hot off the tails of Smiley Smile getting released.
Very hot off the tail of Smiley Smile.
Like matter of month?
Maybe.
Yeah. So we have the Smile sessions. Brian writes this teenage symphony to God.
Hey.
Not allowed to say that.
It's a blank to blank.
Blank to blank. Can't pull it off because
Mike Love.
Yeah. And ends up just like throwing it away. Sits down in his room in his house,
staring out the stained glass window
with his friends.
Hey, wait a minute! Sounds like it's time for an episode of Sound and Vision.
Okay.
All right, Sound and Vision, where we discuss all things aesthetic, using the scale provided to us by David Bowie. If we really like something glam, we call it a
low.
That's right. And if we don't like it, Tim, we call it
a Never Let Me Down.
In which David Bowie definitely let us down. David.
He's dead. He's dead. Move on.
I'm communicating to David with help from Seth Rogen.
Sorry.
Wow. David just knocked
he
something
just can't,
over in the studio.
Wow.
Whoa.
Sorry, David.
Fucking weird. And if it's in the middle, comfortable middle ground.
Let's Dance.
Let's Dance. David Bowie's okayest album. He really kind of phoned most of that one in, let's be honest.
But,
bangers up front.
Okay, so
this episode seems forced. We hadn't even said the name of the album yet.
I know, seriously, I haven't even
said Wild Honey.
No, not yet.
Wild Honey.
I was still setting
Literally
up.
said it.
I was still setting up that Brian's sitting in his house,
staring out a stained glass window, which means that we have to talk about the cover.
Right, and so they crank out Smiley Smile, a low.
We're talking
version.
About the cover of Wild
and
Honey now.
Here
Glenn.
we are.
Yeah.
Looking out our stained glass window. It's a beautiful stained glass window.
There's a little bee on it.
A little bee, which makes sense. Wild Honey.
Wild Honey.
Right?
There it is.
Made
Let's
by
do
bees.
an album.
Let the bees make money. Let the poor find honey. I think that's what the lyric is.
I didn't listen to that.
I mean, here's Brian making he couldn't make a blank to blank. No. So let's make a Motown. Let's make an R&B inspired.
We're talking about the cover.
And so
shut up. We're talking about the cover.
Honey.
What do you think of it?
It's
a stained glass window.
It's good.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It's low.
You're really going
yes,
low?
I'm going low. Absolutely. I love this. The color.
The font is pretty bad.
Well,
it's fine. It's good. Shut up.
Hey. it's I was going to say it's a strong Let's Dance. I know
like the font.
Said there aren't really levels officially within there and all that. I mean,
it's got the thing where there are no holes in the D's or the O's, and I like that.
Oh, okay.
And they're also sort of overlapping slightly, the left side on top.
I love it.
Downward slope.
I think it feels like home. It feels reminiscent, nostalgic, like there's something sentimental about it, something important about it.
I just think it's all right. If you guys are both going to say that it's a low, I was saying it was a strong Let's Dance, so that's fine. I'll concede to you on that.
I'm at the point, I think, where any cover that it looks like a piece of art. I talked about this in the Smile episode. As opposed to just like a picture of the guys, I automatically like a lot better.
Yeah.
And this is just one section.
You just wait. I'm gonna hold you to that.
All right. This is just one section of a larger piece of art, but I like it. It's balanced well. The bees right there.
And it speaks to what they're creating here. This is an actual. Is this an actual stained glass?
Yeah, I think so.
Did they just straight up take a picture of the thing at Brian's house?
Mm-hmm.
So he's got this.
Read the Wikipedia already, Glenn. Come on.
Sorry. So there's that. There's something about stained glass that kind of has this like spiritual element to it. It's kind of got this vibe, and that's this. You call it little blue-eyed soul, but here is Brian like experimenting with this kind of idea of tapping into my spiritual, what have you, and there it is. Yeah. I think the art mimics the.
That's very good.
I think the bee looks like he's wearing glasses, and that's good too.
That is good too.
I like it. All right, fine. It's
a low. It's a low.
That's 5 lows in a row, though. We're
and I'm
handing these
telling
things
you,
out left
we
and
are,
right.
I guess.
Yeah. All right.
This is what happens when you only have 3 options.
Well, I know, but I'm also a little bit worried. Like, how long is the streak going to keep going? Because
well, it's going to end. It's going to end before long.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, if it doesn't end on the next, we're going to get
talk
to the
about
fucking
that as we go.
cursed Beach Boys album soon enough. But,
I have a weird feeling I'm going to give Sunflower a low.
well, that's not the cursed one.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, the cursed one comes up before that, but we'll get there in time.
Sure.
Anyway, all right, fine. Good episode, I guess, of Sound of Vision. Yes, a little bit early placed in the context, but whatever. Now go ahead, Glenn.
Okay.
Tell your...
Well, solo album.
That was it. That
Yeah.
was it. The context of this
I
album
wouldn't say
is-
it's necessarily all that spiritual yet, but it's definitely soul.
But I think that's the thing. I think this is as much
Well,
spiritual
I think
as
I know.
Brian.
I think I know what you're going for. That whole idea of like stained glass with a church.
Yeah,
right. There is
right.
that kind of
And he's kind of like, trying to break through this, no pun on the glass breaking, but like he's trying to tap into whatever this feeling is what is it that's spiritual that was super authentic about Pet Sounds and, what was this blank to blank about Smile. I think he's like, oh, well, maybe there's something to be said for, this gospel elements that come in with this genre.
I think you're overthinking it. I mean,
maybe.
Because as far as I know, what's on the record is that they just wanted to do something that was sort of like the opposite of what was commercial as far as like hard rock, like Hendrix and stuff like that.
Sure.
And they were going...
I think that's even more apparent on the next album.
I mean, Mark. Brian was just like, I like Motown. I like this Motown stuff. Let's do something like that.
Right.
I don't know.
And I kind of like that. That's what I'm saying.
Mike Love shares credit on all the songs except for the Stevie Wonder cover, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think they were just trying to shake off the cobwebs and do something different.
Right. Do something different.
The context for this one is still, very, very similar to the context for
David Bowie again.
Bowie keeps coming in and smacking.
Sorry.
Keep dropping my phone. I think my fingers are just really dry. I'm letting this down.
It's terrible. Anyway, though, the context for this one is really similar to the context for Smiley Smile. And Glenn mentioned it was like a month layoff between finishing one and starting work on the other one. So this is still a home album. They're still recording in Brian's home studio. Still pretty bare bones. This one's a little bit more of a rock setup because they were really just leaning heavily on like that organ and just weird, stacked vocal things on Smiley Smile. Now they're like starting to play as a band again.
Yeah.
So it does feel like them getting back to those roots of being a self-contained rock band.
While not being choir boys or whatever.
Not being choir boys, exactly, as the Wikipedia tells us, right?
And also, Wikipedia. I would also, at what point, where's the Laid in Hawaii happen?
That is abandoned
this,
before, I believe,
Just
they
before.
start working on Wild Honey, because when that failed, they were kind of like, oh, well, let's get back to work on something pretty quickly and throw something together.
So to speak on that,
because
just
that was
for a moment.
September of '67 is what it looks like. Laid in Hawaii, according to the Sunshine Tomorrow collection.
So
Which
just
you were talking about
that.
having to piece that together, but it's all apparently right here in sequence on Sunshine Tomorrow.
It is, and you can find that. Just for those who are unaware, they after Smiley Smile, they pack up and they go to Hawaii and they do the thought is an album, a live album where they play these pieces together. They literally ship Brian's organ from his home.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, they did ship his organ from his home to this, and so they do this whole arrangement of songs that's with Brian on the organ, and Carl's playing bass, and they're kind of like moving it around, and the recording
They weren't happy with him, right?
it wasn't too great.
I haven't listened to him yet, so.
But it's charming because they're a little bit different, but they're stripped down, and it's kind of organ heavy, but as a band. And I kind of get a sense that when that didn't work out, almost like in my mind, I can hear Brian going, "Well, freaking Mike made me abandon my lofty Smile project with all this ornate stuff because he didn't get it. Let me dumb it down." And it's almost like we get down to, well, okay, here, I'll write some stuff that you can play live. If that's, I got a sense that maybe part of Mike,
That makes sense, but
bagging on Smile was like, how am I going to, Mike's job is to take the touring band out. And how are you going to replicate Miss O'Leary's cow, out at the county fair? Well, you don't.
I'll bring my sax on.
Right. And so I almost feel like Brian's like, okay, I'll give you something that's a little simpler.
Well,
that maybe you can go out and play.
But I don't know if he's necessarily fucking Mike over here.
No,
He's real
probably
sensitive, and at the point where Smile was
He's
kind
trying
of
to
falling
please
apart,
people. Yeah.
he was like, and he was really like insecure. He's like, oh gosh,
Right.
maybe I'm not such a genius or whatever.
Right.
And so I'm just gonna like lay low and try to be more accessible. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, that's
And then
what
there's still also though the commercial demands as well too.
Right.
They had
Right.
Said, we'll get you Smile, we'll get you Smile, we'll get you Smile to be out next week. What do you mean Smile doesn't exist?
Mm-hmm.
So now they are having to like work pretty quickly, I think, to make up for the demands of the label. So they got Smiley Smile out there in pretty quick time. This one, they turn around real fast because they do the whole late in Hawaii stuff. I don't remember the specific dates that they were in Hawaii, but that was September of 67. And then they start apparently recording Wild Honey September 26th of 67. Okay. They're done with it within less than 2 months.
Comes out in December.
And it comes out on apparently December 18th, 1967. Mm-hmm. So like this is, them like throwing something quick together. Hey, for Q4 again. We talked about Q4 releases.
This is their Christmas album.
This is a pretty damn good Q4.
Dude, seriously,
it's
that's what I'm saying. It's not as like orchestrated. It's not as studio art. It's more about like a band getting together and recording things. But it's great. It's catchy. Like, I mean, we'll talk through track by track, but that's kind of the context of where the band's mind's at putting this album together.
Yeah, it's like a back to basics, although it's not really a basics that we've ever heard from them before.
Right.
I mean, basics in the sense that it's the guys themselves playing the instruments, writing the songs, but it's a very different sound than last time we heard them doing that.
Right, and I guess obviously Brian was, but Carl was way into the Motown and the soul kind of thing. I saw in the Wikipedia there was something about where he said his R&B side always wanted to come out. And it really came out in full force in this album.
You're just heaping like crap on us now every time you mention Wikipedia.
Well, I found this website called, I don't know how it's pronounced. It's Waikai Padea.
You should try that one
Padaya?
instead. Yeah, maybe there's more information there.
There's a lot of stuff on there.
There is.
And they Brian slightly detuned the piano.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Carl was much more involved in the production process.
Mm-hmm.
He got really into that. Brian took a little bit of a back seat because he was kind of tired of all those expectations. Mm-hmm. So production, I think, is credited to the group, but Carl was heavily involved.
Yeah, this is definitely a Carl record.
Yeah.
We'll get into our conversations about individuals here before too long, but Carl looms large over this one. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's take a quick break then, and we're going to come back and talk about the A-side of Wild Honey.
And we're back. It's time to talk down the Wikipedia on the Beach Boys' Wild Honey. It's time to look at the A side.
Yeah, I actually really quickly. So I've already made one allusion to the Sunshine Tomorrow collection. I don't know if either of you guys really listened to this.
Yeah,
it's out there. I got this one on CD. Then they put out other ones for like subsequent records, and I don't know that those ever actually came out in like physical form.
I'm not. No, I think the Friends one was digital only. I saw.
The liner notes are kind of interesting because anything modern day that's put out by the Beach Boys has had to go through, I'm sure, lawyers on both sides.
Right.
Any of the liner notes and everything and all that. So it's one of those typical. Oh, we're gonna really puff up Mike Love's contributions and talk about the Wilson Love songwriting collaboration in the same way that we mentioned Lennon McCartney because they're equals here, right? If you squint just right. But there were a few good quotes in the liner notes for the thing, and I wanted to mention these earlier and I totally forgot. But We talk about like the drawing down, like the scale of everything that they were doing. And Brian says, in regard to like with Smiley Smile and Wild Honey, it not being as big, he says, I don't have to do a big scary fire like that. I can do a candle and it's still a fire.
Right.
So there's your Brian
Big
quote.
scary fire.
Yeah, here was my favorite Mike quote in regard to the title of the album, which apparently there's multiple stories.
Right.
Brian had a jar of wild honey and Mike was going to make tea or whatever in the home studio or whatever. Yeah. But Mike says, hey, that's a great title for a hot chick who you're really hot for.
Wild honey. Yeah, okay.
A hot chick who you're really hot for.
I mean, I can see, based on their earlier stuff, I can see a kind of a double meaning there.
Super
honey
subtle.
as woman.
Wow.
But that's pretty obnoxious.
Yeah, that is.
I love the double use of hot in the same sentence. Like we've said before, a hot Carl.
Hot candle.
Al refers to this period of the band as really transcendental, which I thought was kind of interesting. You think of that idea.
Definitely more friends.
The transcendentalists and, getting back to nature and all of that and just sort of the elemental thing. We're going to take away all the studio artifice and we're going to just kind of get back to our natural habitats or whatever. And I thought that was kind of...
I guess. Yeah. I mean, maybe he might be applying some of that like retroactively, though, since they hadn't done the Maharishi thing yet. They hadn't gone to India.
Yeah, we'll have some conversation about that soon.
And maybe this is them like opening themselves up to that. Is like, this is their first step into that. Yeah. Thinking about what do we know culturally, societally about that spirituality, something about getting back to.
Well, when I think like that transcendental, I think of like you are doing things that are in your nature, like you're doing things that are your natural reactions, rather than like we're going to really spend a whole lot of time,
focusing on
every little piece like they had been doing during Pet Sounds and Smile and all of that. And they're going to just kind of get back to, again, that sort of elemental feel of what is it like for us to come together and play as a band and to get together and write songs, as Lennon and McCartney would say, eyeball to eyeball. And we do know that the, Love Wilson, because that's really the way you're supposed to put it, Love Wilson, not Wilson Love, that was an equally,
Wilson Phillips.
Right.
Wait.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. All right.
So Wild Honey.
Track 1.
We have our Tanner in.
Yeah, they called in Paul Tanner again just to do the...
Love it.
It's great.
It worked on Good Vibrations. Let's do some more. It works here, too.
Apparently, Mike Love's contribution was written with Stevie Wonder in mind, but I don't really see it. This is a great Carl vocal. He's very soulful.
Carl.
Let's not say that. When this song is playing in my head, every time I get to the chorus, the instrumental, like the theremin thing, my brain goes into Tears of a Clown, the flute part. Right. I hear that in my head instead of the for some reason. So there's definitely overlap there.
Sure. The Motown.
Yeah, it's the Motown thing. It's very, very on the nose here, but in a good way. Bruce, by the way, with the killer organ playing in the solo.
Oh, he does that solo?
That's all Bruce, yeah.
Oh, good for him. Here I was wondering, like, what does Bruce actually bring to the picture? But that's pretty kick-ass solo. I like it.
Yeah.
What is Mike's contribution to this song?
I mean, he's co-credited for every song, so I assume it's like probably lyrics and maybe a hook here or there.
I could taste you even then.
If anything, this album... Oh, God.
So one of the weird things is in this Sunshine Tomorrow thing, he's talking about how he wrote the song like it is a guy talking to his mom about how like into this hot chick who he's really hot for. Yeah, and this is like apparently like a conversation happening between a dude and his mom about the girl that he's in. Yeah, exactly. So Mike Love.
So is he?
Mike.
He's saying, "Mom, what good would it do you to stand there and frown at me just because I like this hot chick?"
Yeah, because the mom is kind of disapproving.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
Ew.
I don't know. If anything, though, this album, even like on the musical side, the compositional side, this makes sense that Mike may have been more of a contributor because the songs are so bare bones and stripped down. They're more like straightforward. So I could see that a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, you don't know when they're both credited equally. You really don't know who did what.
Yeah.
Anyway, good song.
Banger.
Yeah, I love it.
Carl kills it.
Except
really
now,
does. He really does.
Now I have to think twice about the lyrics.
All right, track
Aren't
2.
You Glad?
Aren't You Glad? It's cool. It's like a chill little boom ba doo 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 doo. It's got that really buzzy organ tone that I like. Apparently, it was. Well, I don't know if it was written with them in mind, but it's like a Lovin' Spoonful style song.
See that?
Yeah, it's good. I have trouble like connecting the title and the music in my head. You know, this is one of those where I'm like, oh, aren't you glad? Which one is that? And I have to think about it for a minute, but it's good.
They do a lot of trading off of vocals on this one. I think it's Mike at the beginning, and actually, I'm going to say he does okay there.
Yeah.
And then I think it goes to Brian and then Carl. I don't know,
I
but
think, yeah.
they're really switching off a lot.
Right. I
as
think
to
Carl.
lead
Yeah, I think
vocals.
Brian sings the high part and Carl sings the more soulful part.
Yeah, but it's cool. It works well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a minor song, but it's a jam.
It's good. It is. Track 3. I Was Made to Love Her. Stevie Wonder song.
Stevie Wonder song.
It's good. I read something that there's a popular misconception that Carl changes one of the lyrics to say "son of a bitch," but I couldn't even find it in the song. I don't know what part people are hearing is that.
It's so weird, really, really weird, because Carl sings the lead on it again, and he knocks it out of the park. It's a great vocal on his part. When I first heard this song, and I don't know, what people are referring to there, but when I first heard the song, going back 15, 20 years or whatever, I thought that the hook underneath, not the Carl song part, but the "Yes, I was made to love." There's a part of that kind of sounds like something like "son of a bitch."
Oh, maybe
like
that's
when
it.
I heard that, but it's not the Carl lead at all. It was that hook underneath, and I thought that. But then I was, because I had never heard the Stevie Wonder version of it up to that point for whatever reason. But it was weird because then I saw the title of the song. I was like, okay, well, that's clearly not what they're saying. This is also the Beach Boys.
Right.
But yeah, so I was like, where are people hearing that? Because I had heard it in that hook underneath.
That must be it.
And that must be it.
Yeah.
Because I thought, wow, that's really weird. I
yeah.
thought it was just like one of those.
I was listening
I was
closely.
the only person who ever heard that.
I brought up the lyrics. I was like, what could possibly be misinterpreted as that? And it must be the backup vocals. Good song, though. Good cover.
It is, yeah.
I like
It's
it.
really, really solid.
The next one is Country Air. I think this has like kind of a subtle nod to the Do Run Run in it, you know, because there's a kind of like whistled melody. It has a little bit of that. And when he walked me home, burr, 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 burr.
Oh, okay.
There's that
Maybe.
in the whistle. I don't know if it's intentional, but I hear that in there.
Okay.
Brian says a technical anomaly created that sort of buzzy weirdness to it, which is interesting. I don't know what that was. And they used an instrument called a Chamberlin, which is like
Which is a mellotron.
basically
like
a
an American
mellotron.
mellotron.
Yeah, it's like an earlier version of the mellotron.
Yeah.
Which I think is like the horns sound in this one. It's kind of like because they kind of sound like synthesized. So that might be that.
Yeah. They I don't believe they ever had access to a mellotron per se. Just like Poochie never had access to a time machine. But they did have a Chamberlain in the stable for a while. So yeah, I don't specifically hear it on that song, but if you found that, I'm sure Wikipedia would never lie.
There's kind of a horn sound. I'm not sure there's any horn players credited on anything, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Glenn, what do you think of this song?
I like it. I mean, I think I think this is our drinking game. Apparently, Brian Wilson has said it's his favorite cut.
Oh yeah, he says that a lot.
But he says that a lot, so I think like you have to drink every
hey.
time Brian declares
So
something is his
we've
favorite.
all got
I got a Pafreem here.
Pafreem?
A little sip here. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime Brian mentions something is his favorite, gotta take a drink.
So I kind of wanted to hear what you guys both had to say about it first. I fucking love this song.
Yeah.
It's super, super vibey.
Yeah.
It just has this feel to it that it's not dream pop per se in the same way that another song we're going to hear on an album coming up before too long is, but it's got that kind of sort of surrealist vibe to it. And I totally love this one. It's my favorite of the non-big two, we'll say.
Okay.
And actually, I honestly might like this one even more than Wild Honey. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
That weird like that corrupted noise when I
Yeah,
first
it sounds
got
like
this
an
album.
MP3 that has gone bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I thought it was an MP3 error that I had. I was like, all right, I got to re-rip the CD and see if that works. Like then I bought like the stereo mono like reissue or Sunshine Tomorrow, this thing too. It's like, nope, it's still in there. Like it must have actually been an artifact of the recording and not of my original CD. But yeah, it always bugged me because I thought it was like, oh, I love this song, but I have this like fucked up version of it. No, that's just the version of it. But
Yeah,
it's
that's
great.
just how
I
it is
love
apparently.
I
And
love it.
just looking over the personnel notes on the album, there's a horn section on Darlin', but there's just a trumpet listed for one other place, which is "Aren't You Glad?"
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's there's some subtle horn sounding stuff in Country Air, and I think that's the Chamberlain.
Yeah, I'm hearing it now. Yeah, that must be a Chamberlain. Yeah, the Chamberlain, like the Mellotron, had a whole assortment of
sounds,
synthesized woodwinds and brass and all of that. We're looking at not only in our studio here, not only a Mellotron, but this has all the Chamberlain sounds as well too.
Oh, there you go.
Right on the back of it.
Except fully synthesized, not strips of whatever, not tape, not magnetic tape.
I have an actual tape-based Mellotron and Chamberlain combo in the studio here. You didn't know I'm sitting on like a $80,000 instrument, right?
I don't want people to think that fancy. It's pretty fancy though. It is
pretty fucking fancy.
It is
yeah.
Mellotron
It's
brand.
pretty badass.
Well, if they had directions to your house, they might.
Hey, next album.
All right, sorry.
You'll see a lot to make a left and no, sorry, busy
Go
doing
through
it.
the fence.
That's my blank to blank right there.
Okay.
All right, a thing or two.
Thing or two is the last track on the side. I like this one. It's one of those weird cheesy-ish ones, like that "Do It Right, Baby."
Yeah.
Has kind of a little too much mic feel to it.
It
But
definitely feels Mikey.
But I like it, and I think the bass line is really cool, and that's Brian playing bass. Well, and he's just all over the neck, He goes up high and down low.
Yeah, I always forget which one this is by title alone because a thing or two just kind of gets thrown in there right before they go to that. You do it right.
Do.
Yeah, it's good. It's fine. Yeah,
It's good.
it's for me maybe one of the weaker moments, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it at all.
No.
All right, A side. Very good.
Good side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I like
yeah,
it.
I mean,
it's
nothing-
like all of 12 minutes too. This whole album in total is 23 minutes and 54
Wow.
seconds long.
Shorter than Friends.
I don't feel like any bunts so far.
No,
So
I
that's
mean,
a good
it-
sign, right?
There's some deliberately minor stuff, but it has a great feel. It's very, very similar to Smiley Smile. There's just
A charm.
low key
There's
vibe.
a charm
of
to it. Yeah.
totally charming. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they're doing pretty well so far.
Yeah,
I'd say.
this is good.
right.
Nice job, boys.
Yeah. Well, let's take a break and we're gonna come back and talk about the B side.
Yeah. Hi, we're back talking about Wild Honey, side 2. Strong start to side 2, just like there's a strong start to side 1. Full, unabashed soul song, Darlin'.
Ooh,
called
yeah.
Darlin'.
Banger.
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 Carl again, killing the vocals.
Killing it.
Top two tracks of the album: Wild
yeah.
Honey and Darlin'. Yeah.
I'd say, like I said, I think for me, maybe Country Air finds its way into number 2 spot, but this is the highlight. This song's fucking great.
So
Horns. Yeah.
Yeah,
The word doggone is in there. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. With an apostrophe.
I don't think so.
I think we can. Oh.
I spelled it Doggone.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that's the
All right.
proper
Okay.
English spelling.
So for a little context, Brian's actually like working with a band called Redwood.
Well, Three Dog Night.
Well, so that's
Originally
the thing, right?
Redwood,
They were called Redwood, and he was wearing. And I had read somewhere that they were considering them to be like on their label, the Brother Records, because at this time, they're starting to set up Brother Records. Is that right? Like,
No, I think it's done. Because
it is officially done.
They put out
Heroes and Villains single.
Heroes and Villas, and then that other weird one that I ordered on Discogs and still hasn't shown up yet. With the organ. And not 96 Tears. I think I was doing 96 Tears. But that second
that's
single,
Double Shot of My Baby's Love.
that second single was the the last Brother release. So I think
Okay.
Brother
Getting
was
Hungry?
Yeah, Getting Hungry. I think that was it for Brother.
So they're, Brian's like working with these guys, and they're working up Darlin' apparently, and Time to Get Alone.
Well, Brian's had this song sitting around for a while.
Right.
He originally had recorded it. If it's one thing, let me make sure. Hold on, I have my phone literally right here.
Was this Thinking About You, Baby?
Yeah.
Okay. Sharon Marie.
Sharon Marie, yeah. It's from like 65.
64.
Yeah.
Sounds just like Darlin'. Wait, no.
Okay. Yeah, it's
okay,
really, really slow version, but it's
Okay.
good. Yeah, it's. I think I got it on that Pet Projects or whatever. I repurposed it on this compilation of stuff that I put together for my daughter. But anyway, yeah. So he'd had this song sitting around for quite a while.
Well, so apparently, according to the story, Brian's in the studio with Redwood working these up, and Mike waltzes into a session and is like, "Hold on!" And he has flashbacks to Jan and Dean.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's
I'm sure.
like, "No, this is a Beach Boys song."
He gets Brian in a headlock.
Right.
Gives him a noogie.
He bullies him, and he's like, "It's not yours.
Fuck
It's
you.
ours. I can actually play this maybe live."
No, I can't.
So
Carl can do this. Yeah.
So this poor
Yeah,
band,
well, him
Redwood.
and Carl, I think, were both like, let's just focus on the Beach Boys, please.
Right.
Yes.
We got enough problems. We don't need to be branching out, doing
Yeah.
stuff. But yes, Redwood becomes Three Dog Night, which
So, well-
another fun side story. Three Dog Night, they got their name. Have you heard this story?
No.
Apparently, there's some contention about who came up with the name. There's a hanger-on that claims that she read an article in the New Yorker and about these Aboriginal group who would sleep with a dingo at night if
Jesus.
it was cold.
Oh, okay.
If it was especially cold, they'd sleep with two. And if it was like freezing, it would
Okay.
be they'd call it a Three Dog Night.
Wait,
And
was it actually based on that 3 Wolf Moon shirt?
I had no idea.
Okay, never mind.
But anyways, she apparently read this account in the New Yorker, suggested it. Well, Van Dyke Parks comes along and says, "Bullshit. She does not read the New Yorker. I suggested it." So apparently Van Dyke Parks came up with the name Three Dog Night.
Anyway, back to the song.
Back to the song.
It's fucking great.
It's wonderful.
It is fucking great.
Darling.
This back to anyway, digression a little bit is that Brian apparently contests the story of like Mike and Carl. He says, "Oh, I gave it a 3 Dog Night and they sent it back." He said,
they didn't
"They
want
said
it.
you could have it." So whatever.
I feel like that's another part of our drinking game. Brian's misremembered past.
Well, maybe he's the only one that's right. I don't know. One thing that's funny is that Carl has a credit for inaudible drums on this, which I don't know what that means because there are drums and it's just like it's Dennis or somebody else playing the drums, but Carl apparently played some drums and you just can't hear them.
All right.
Invisible drums.
It's
Nice.
Good song. It's doggone out of sight.
Doggone out of sight.
doggone
And you know
out of
what?
sight.
To me, it sounds like it's time for an episode of Heroes and Villains.
What?
That's right. It's time for Heroes and Villains, where we discuss the heroes and the villains, whatever it is we happen to be talking about this week. This week we are talking about Wild Honey.
Hero? 3 Dog Night. Wait, no.
Hero?
Carl.
Carl
yeah.
fucking
Big hero of this.
belts it out.
And-
This song and Wild Honey alone are just great. But
I
he
mean,
has
he's
that
even doing
fantastic
it-
lead, and I Was Made to Love Her as well too.
Yeah.
He's even doing it with inaudible drums.
Yeah, I was going to
He's
say
doing
that
it
adds
wizard.
to the resume.
Right.
Yeah, no, Carl's the standout on this record.
Absolutely.
This is, Brian is still at the helm. I know this is another produced by Beach Boys, but Carl's the MVP of this album.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's doing great, and he's on an uptick. Like they waited a long time to really give him a decent lead vocal, right?
Well,
it wasn't his first lead.
I mean, he did Good Vibrations.
Well, yeah, but
And
like I'm
God
talking,
Only
like,
Knows.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, like, he didn't even have a good lead vocal song until probably 65, right? Girl, Don't Tell Me, I think was maybe like the first.
Okay.
And
Well,
we all
yeah.
know that was on Dias de Verano y también Sus
Noches!
Wow. You did that a lot more aggressively this time.
Sus noches!
It's like you're.
It's That felt like 2 exclamation marks. Yeah.
Well, there are.
Yeah, that's
There
my
are,
point.
yeah.
It felt like
That's
3.
my
Exactly. No,
Yeah.
That felt accurate.
It's this isn't a 3 exclamation point night. This is a 2 exclamation point.
Are you
night.
saying like so he has one by little he's had more and more vocal responsibilities. He's done a great job with different styles, like softer style songs, and here he's belting. He's really like
Exactly. Like I think "Girl Don't Tell Me" was like the first featured focal point lead because I think that one ended up being a single.
I don't remember.
And before that, like I can't even really remember his leads. I know we talked about one or two on the first couple of records, but they were always like it was him and David, I think, had sung together, if I remember right. I'm having to think back to like 3 months ago or whatever. But yeah, like after then, with Pet Sounds, of course, yes, as you said, God Only Knows. He sings on that. He sings Good Vibrations. But he's like digging in now. And he is going to, not only as a vocalist, but as a songwriter and as a producer, he is going to really start to grab a hold of the reins here and become... Let's be honest. We're going to have some heroes and villains features where Carl is the hero for quite a while. I think coming up, and this is the first time where I think he's no longer just Carl.
Right.
He's
on Wild Honey too. Like he's just going for it. Like his vocal parts, it's like on the edge of his range, and he's just like
he's kind of like
yeah. What can I do? Yeah. All good stuff.
Hero.
Well, wait. Another possible hero. For saving Darlin from Three Dog Night, does Mike Love get
fuck that.
heroic credit?
No.
The villain is Mike.
Yeah, Mike. Okay.
Yeah.
What is it about it this time?
I don't know.
Just
Doesn't
being Mike Love.
Well, later on this side, I'm going to make a case for Bruce being a villain, but for now we love him. The organ solo.
He did play that kick-ass organ solo.
Yeah. So no, I'm all Bruce is all good, but there's like reason to and maybe not even. This may not even count because it came out later. But anyway,
Well,
jump ahead if you must. But I mean, Mike is just. Is he just like general villainry right now? And it's like, oh, he's still around and he's still, balding at a frighteningly fast rate for a 27-year-old dude. And like
the fact that Brian
there's no specific grievance that we have with him on this one, maybe. But he's still Mike Love.
So officially, I'm just saying, like, for down the road on the Fraudcast Wikipedia page, where we have to list like all of the heroes and villains of each episode,
course,
we're officially listing Mike Love.
Oh, yeah.
As the villain of this episode.
Maybe just for the Wild Honey thing alone, where, it's about a hot chick that you're real
hot for. Villain.
Yeah. There you go.
That was
that
villainous.
hot chick quote's pretty villainous.
Yeah, that's villainous.
Yeah.
All right.
Solid.
We're going to have a Wikipedia entry on the Fraudcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to make an entry and then we
contribute.
Can and we can we can list out all of the findings. We have to list all of our...
All right. Fair enough.
We have to leave key details out and then do a lot of the sourcing to like dead links.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what we should do.
I wonder if we might end up on the being referred to as a Wokepedia because we were talking shit about
Let's go
DeSantis and
Maybe.
Trump, right?
Start that.
Yeah, we're the wokiest broadcast on
Wokepedia.
YouTube's.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Next track.
I'd love just wants to see you. That's a nice title. Yeah, he just wants to see her.
It's such a sweet song.
Yeah.
There's nothing weird about it at all. And then the fucking last line, like
it's got a great punchline. I'd love just wants to see you in the nude.
Yeah.
Because I'm a pervert. No.
Yeah.
I love this song. This is actually one of my favorites on the record. It's like it's one of his sitting around, slice of life. I'm just like washing the dishes kind of songs, which I love.
Yeah, right.
And it's very simple. Just that acoustic guitar. It's great.
It really feels like it could be on the next album.
It really does. It really feels like a Friends song.
Yeah.
Well, like that's what I thought. I thought like, oh, this is a Friends album. If we're gonna do a Friends album, we got to do a song about like platonic relationships and how what if I was trying to rack my brain. I was like, is this song about platonic friends that like it's not possible because inevitably one pervert's gonna want to see him in the nude. You can't just watch dishes with them. And then I'm like,
he's singing about Al, I think.
Maybe I don't know. But then like
We've talked very little about Al on this.
Well, I went on,
Al. What did you have to do with Wild Honey?
He was there. Whatever.
Hey, that's right.
Yeah.
You can call me Al.
I wanna
I mean, he
know,
had that
Al,
transcendental quote. I mean, that's the only time we've mentioned Al so far.
Al,
He literally-
who came up with that last line? Whose idea was that last line?
That's
what I wanna know.
a Brian.
It's funny because this is the only song he has any instrumental credit on. Al plays the rhythm guitar on this
wow.
song, and he does vocals in general.
Well, so I went on song meanings to like see if and I nothing, and then I went on Reddit, which I highly recommend from time to time. There's some good conversations on Reddit, and somebody on Reddit was like, "Is this about marriage?" Like, kind of creepy. And somebody on Reddit suggested that this didn't sound like something the Beach Boys would write. It sounds like something that Charles Manson would have written for the band. Like dark at the end in the news.
You just hold that thought. Yeah,
creepy.
We'll get there.
We'll get there,
See,
but
I'm
I'm
gonna
just saying,
say,
like,
Now that you're
is
attributing
this
someone
innocent
else,
Brian? Or is this
No.
like dark, creepy?
this is not Manson-esque at all. It's
No,
not
yeah.
even creepy.
It's weird,
it
but it's
makes me
weird
feel
in the
icky.
way that there's an album that we're going to talk about. It's 10 years off still, but it's the total kind of like thing that could have ended up just thrown at the end of a song on that album too. We'll get there.
Okay. All right.
An
This is-
album that
this
some
is-
of us love.
This is more of him just being juvenile, I think, like he is, want to do.
All right. It
All
just
right.
feels icky.
Wait,
to
hey,
me.
we're starting to get a little bit up there in time now. We went from 38 minutes to 52 very
Okay.
quickly.
All right.
So let's move it along here. Here comes the night.
Here comes the night. I love it. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
But what I didn't know is that there's a 10-minute disco version of this.
Fucking awful.
I
We'll
love
get
it.
there. Oh, you love it?
I like it.
We're gonna get there in
So
time.
that's way ahead on Light Album, but just
Yeah.
the note I have is that is all Bruce's fault. That was
Yeah.
Bruce's
Oh, yeah.
passion project.
Yeah.
Tons
Making
of
a
work went
disco
into it,
version.
and all it is a disco version
We'll
of an
get there.
existing song.
We'll get there.
I think it's as
This
far as
version-
disco goes, it's good. But yeah,
But this version, it's fine.
it's fine. That's good. I like
All
it.
right.
I love it.
All right, let the wind blow.
Let the wind blow. I like it. It's chill.
So this is it's like a 3/4. Is it waltz time?
I mean, 3/4 is waltz time.
Yeah.
This says written by Mike, rearranged by Brian. So whatever that means.
Fixed.
Yeah, fixed. There you go.
Yeah.
Good song.
This is a very good song.
Yeah.
After the three that I already mentioned, Wild Honey, Darling, and Country Air, this is my probably next favorite one. Remy really likes this one as well too. We had to fight a little bit over which one was going to be our pick for the song for our catalog crawl thing, and I pushed for Country Air, and we got Country Air. But, yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah, no, this is a really good song. Yeah. This is a Brian lead, right? Yeah,
I think so.
Brian lead vocal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like this one. Very sparse, but
Yeah, it is.
Again, a little vibey, but it's got the nice little call and response sort of. Let the wind blow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
It's
it.
good.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right,
How she boogalooed it.
Ugh.
sucks.
I think it's fine, but this is the one that has literally no contributions from Brian. Like they recorded it when he was like at the store or something. I don't know.
So bad.
I feel like
I don't feel negatively about it. I just feel it's a little obnoxious, and I don't really have much of an opinion, but it's fine.
this to me sounds like it's an Al and Mike jam.
Yeah.
They're both credited as writers on it, and yeah.
And then so there's
Oh,
that.
Bruce as well too.
He probably wished it was a disco version. He probably tried to put a little. Anyway, last track is "Mama Says," which is a leftover from "Smile." It's from what vegetables? Yeah.
Vegetables.
And this is the one where Van Dyke Parks was not credited for some reason, even though
Bastards.
yeah. So this album, this side kind of peters off at the end.
It does a little bit.
Boogaloo, it feels like they're trying to make it like, marketable or whatever. We need an up track. We need kind of a surfy track. Brian's out to lunch. Quick, let's hammer out a.
We can't have an album that's only 22 minutes long.
Right.
So
Yeah, true. Right.
yeah, the Boogaloo, it kind of sucks. But other than that, I mean, I like the little tag of ending with a smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tidbit there at the end.
Well, again, and I have this theory that I think from here that every Beach Boys album has at least one kind of like bunt on it, to use Carl's metaphor.
My theory is Michael Love eats dog food.
Yeah,
That could be it.
that sounds
Could be the root of the problem.
Good. Yeah.
Too much iron. Yeah.
So Boogaloo is the down, but still, I think as a whole, it's
good.
It's got soul. It's got some.
Oh yeah, we got to rate it before we
Good
go.
stuff.
We do. Yeah.
Oi, I need to. I should have put a little bit more.
I'm gonna give it a Carl. Sorry, not a Carl. Dennis.
Ooh.
Yeah.
A Dennis.
Because I do because I gave Smiley Smile a Dennis, and like,
Ooh,
it's at least as good as Smiley Smile to me.
I have to open up Instagram every time we rate something to look at
Same. I had my volume down.
I did not have my volume down. Apologies.
And I've grown to really like this one. This is one that I kind of was like whatever before, and listening to it and learning about it, I've gotten to really, really like it. The Carl stuff, the soul stuff, really elevates it. Boogaloo doesn't even really ruin it for me.
No. I mean, if you're the kind of person who can have a really good album ruined by one song,
right?
You're lame. But I still don't think it quite rises to the level of a Dennis in the way that Smiley Smile does. To me, this is the definition of something I was told to not say earlier. But this is a hot Carl. It's a
steaming pile of Carl.
Steaming pile of Carl, which only makes sense as well too. He's the all-star of the album. I literally we have the like specific number rating, and I literally gave this one an 8.7, which is also what I think Remy gave it, because that's what it ended up on the catalog crawls, an 8.7, 10th place for Beach Boys albums, and to me, like, that is the top of the Carl, just below a Dennis.
Right.
But yeah, very, very solid hot Carl.
All right, well, all of you listeners out there, you need to head over to Talkin' Beach Boys on Instagram, pull up the rating scale. You can see.
To know what we're talking about.
We have Dennis Wilson is a 4.5 on a 5-point scale. Carl Wilson is a 4. So I think about this one. I gave Smiley Smile a Carl Wilson, a 4, with the understanding that I probably could grow into it being a Dennis. Mm-hmm. And if I'm going to have 2 albums, Smiley Smile and Wild Honey, I'm probably going to put Wild Honey on before I put Smiley Smile on.
There you go.
And so I think it's a soft Dennis Wilson or a hard Carl.
Hot Carl.
Hot Carl. Sorry.
I mean, they're all poop analogies.
Yeah, sorry.
Which is inappropriate.
A firm Carl. No. Okay.
It's just
yeah. All right. So it's right in there. It's right in there. I think I like this one a little bit.
It's right on that line. It could be a strong one or a weak the other. It's right on that line. It's a very good album.
Yeah, great album.
I would definitely put it behind Smiley Smile.
See, I would put it ahead of Smiley Smile.
And again, I mean, if we're talking about the overall feel, maybe you could argue that this one holds that vibe just a little bit more.
Has more consistency.
But if you're also going to talk about the album, the side opening standouts on each one, Smiley Smile blows the shit out of this one.
Just because
but those don't count.
But that doesn't count.
You can't count literally 2 of the best songs ever.
It's cheating,
exist
though.
on Smiley.
But if
they were already singles. But
if we're talking about an album as a piece of art, there's something
as a cohesive work
of it.
Yeah.
All right, hey, we gotta
there it is.
End this and take one last quick break and come back.
So officially for the Fraudcast Wikipedia entry,
heavy Carl, light Dennis,
light Dennis. Okay,
yeah, sure. Right,
yeah,
heavy Dennis. Carl, light Dennis.
I mean, it's just a Dennis for me.
You all tell us what you think.
I don't do the heavy, light, soft, hard, hot, cold.
Right,
it's a Dennis.
Hey, we'll be right back.
All right. I don't know if we should be saying that.
And we're back.
it hurts.
We're literally recording right now.
Good.
Oh man!
Apparently, Tim's into some weird shit. No pun intended.
I'm just, I thought we were all aware of what a hot Carl is.
Nope.
And so this is why I was questioning whether Matt should be throwing that term around willy-nilly. So I don't know if we want to see. Were you recording when I read the definition?
I was not recording when you read the definition.
Well, just pull up this website called Google.com and type in hot Carl.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
And just have some plastic wrap handy. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, this is why a firm and a soft and all that. So I was like, why are we using these terms?
It's just too many weird things out there on the internet.
Wow.
All right, well, hey, for Talking on the Highway, I'm Matt.
I'm Glenn.
I'm Carl.